Well, I'm not sure how the internet's gonna work here, but the audio should be decent, I hope. What's going on, guys? It's been a while. We're at field day. We're gonna set up. We're in this field. I'm in California. Rio Vista is the city. And yeah, I got a BuddiHex I'll be setting up. We can go say hi to the boys real quick. Let's walk that way. Let me flip you around. That's where my antenna is gonna go. All right. And then that's my mini Winnie, my buddy Servando. He's over here, and what do we got? DX Commander. He's our setup. I'm coming to the party a little late. What's up, N1YLO, and cheers, AE1TP. I need to set up my antenna, but let's go say hello to some other people real quick. My buddy Kellen, he only knows how to do things one way, and that's big, doing the big things. We're on the cell phone here, so I'm hoping the internet hangs in there okay. What's up, BBQ? Good morning, Andy. Hello. I know. Good to see you, Andy. Setting up that tower with his Delta, his Delta loop up there. All right. Thank you, Andrew. Yeah, I wasn't sure how this sounds, but now it probably sounds like a power tool. How much weight does that thing hold, Kellen?
In this sand, is it 1,200 pounds? I think it's 1,200 pounds if I remember right. But
Oh man, but the soil's soft, huh?
Super.
Boy, good thing we got diesel on the rope right now.
I'll wait till you see the length of this.
Oh dang, that's legit. It's like we're putting up a power pole. Getting it done. Whew.
Feel better about that one. It wouldn't make a difference if you put it sideways, huh? What's that? It wouldn't make a difference, huh? Most of them I do.
And your rotor works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, good deal. Got the rotor and everything. So we're at a kind of regular campsite, if you will. So we're mixed in. There's another ham. But we're mixed in with the general population. Another ham. All right, I gotta get back. I gotta get back to setting up the BuddiHex, but I figure I'll let it play for a little bit. I have been pretty busy playing motorcycle. I do apologize, I miss the ham radio community, but there's only so much time. So I've been doing a lot of motorcycling, riding, a little camping. And you know, I just couldn't do motorcycling. So there is, there is another channel I'm putting some videos on. That's called Bikes Camera Adventure, if you're interested, or into motorcycles. Let's get back over here and see what I'm working with. I've got a tripod. You're on a phone. I need to get a fancy phone deal where it's not so shaky. There we go. What type of anchor was that? A big one. I don't know. The guy is an electrician for trade, so I think they use it for, you know, we can ask him here in a little bit. I do plan to stream a few times, so this is kind of like a hello, I'm still alive. I still do some videos. I think the internet is holding up. If it starts looking like crap, just complain so I can see that it's looking like crap, and I'll shut it off. But I'm just having some morning Joe. I hope you guys are enjoying your Saturday morning. Perhaps you're getting out for field day as well. We've got coming up on 8:30 on the left coast, I mean the west coast, and it's gonna be 100. It's gonna be 100 degrees. But I'm the digital guy, and that's why I brought the RV. I'll be in there with the computer, in the air conditioning. The RV park here has water and 30 amp hookup, so that's more than enough to be good to go. All right, I'm gonna turn this around. When I'm working on the antenna here, I'm not gonna be able to see comments, but I will check back if anyone has comments or questions. You guys, there we go. My voice cut out slightly, okay. Good to know, thank you. Yeah, I'm using wireless setup. So I don't know if it's the internet, I don't know if it's the wireless setup. So we've got the BuddiHex. By now, this is not a new antenna. Lots of people have it and use it. And sometimes the joke is, well, how long does it take to set up? I don't know. Should I stream the whole thing? It takes me about an hour, honestly. And this is field day, so I don't need to string up everything. And you know, there's so many pieces to the antenna, which makes it not hard, just time consuming. So we got 6 meters. Yeah, put 6 on. 20, yep, put 20. 12, no 12 for field day. 15, yep, we got 15. 10, yep. 17, no 17, field day. All right. So now we've got to establish, there's trees, I don't know what kind of trees these are, but I'm dealing with some trees and I got to figure out where do I put this so I don't hit these trees. That's the problem. Boy, the camera's not straight, but neither's a lot of people these days. All right, so let's see here. That way. So I've only got so much coax to use because I want to get it in the RV. And I measured this before. It's about 23 feet in diameter. The 20 meters on this BuddiHex, you need about 23 feet. So if I go over here to a branch, okay, and then I'm just gonna kind of count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. So 12, I got 12 feet right here. You know, about halfway of 23, 24 feet, about right there. So yeah, we'll drop it right there. Start off with the tripod. And it's kind of a bummer. I mean, it's not a bummer. It is what it is, but, oh, there's a park ranger cruising by. Where the RV sits to here, it's sloped downward. And then you can kind of see, I can pan around, there's a dirt hill right here, but at least that dirt hill is going west. I don't really need to talk to that many people going west because I'm pretty much San Francisco. Again, we're out here, California. Rio Vista is the city, right by the Sacramento River. Actually, this place is called Sandy Beach, so you can go out there, play on the river, which I might have to. It's gonna be so stinking hot. All right, so I will admit I don't set this up nearly enough to be quick about it. But let's go this way a little bit. So let me see how my framing is with the camera. Yeah, I could get a little closer for this step. Let me turn the camera around for a second. Any questions or comments, or just want to say hello? Say hello. I can see, you know, when I'm over there, I can't see the, let's see, all messages visible. Okay, I've been trying to buy one. Andrew, I'm reading your comment, but it's never listed. Yeah, so from what I understand is they can only make so many, and then they sell right away. So maybe get on the website, give him an email, Chris up there at BuddyPole, and just say, hey, can you please, you know, get me on a list, and perhaps looks good, but voice cut out. Okay, that was earlier. So yeah, maybe you can drop him a personal email and let him know you're really interested and you want to get that going. So RV Gyms, hello, 599, good. Yeah, so I'm going to be live streaming a few times today because it does seem like it's working. and it's also easy for me because I can just turn it on, and I got this cool microphone set up where you can hear me way over here. We were up kind of late enjoying a campfire, some drinks. Let's get back to building this antenna. All right, so let's set that up there and tilt that down there. All right, now this is the 10 meter mast works.
I just put a parking pass on your window there.
Oh, thanks, sir.
You want to put it on the inside of your windshield when you get a chance.
I sure will, thank you. Take care. That's the Ranger. I rolled in last night about 8 o'clock and nobody was around. So I just rolled in and set up. This is a county, Solano County, it's a county park we're at. I thought I was getting in trouble for a second. So what I was saying about this 10 meter pole is when you stick it in here and you build the BuddiHex, what happens is it becomes really hard to reach some of the elements. I mean, I'm 5'10" with shoes on. So they give you this setup pole, which is super convenient, but then it adds an extra step. Especially the step when it comes to guying this. So I haven't came up with a good back and forth, but let's see what that looks like. It's only time. Nothing is hard. You just need some time. Okay, so this is not, like I said, this is not the antenna mast. This is the setup mast. And the other thing I should probably do is take some time and level this tripod. So these secondary bottom legs move, and then the MassWorks tripod I'm working with here has a bubble level up top. And yep, we're just trying to get to that way. I was like, that bubble ain't moving. Come on, bubble. Boy, this is really uneven. Here we go. Now we got some movement on the bubble. Let's see, this way. Ooh, that way. I mean, you know, how perfect does it have to be? There is a little wind. Last night it definitely got windy. About 7:30, 8 o'clock, the wind picked up. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. Pick this guy up. Okay. Kind of slept in. Didn't even have any breakfast. Let me see what's going on here with the comments. Turn the camera around. If you wanna say something, I can see it right now. I can't see when I'm over there. Let's see. Good to see the stash is gone. Yeah, no mustache this year. All right, not much going on in the comments. So yeah, we're just, if you're just checking this video out, I'm setting up this antenna, just chit-chatting a little bit, letting you guys know and YouTube know that I'm still alive. All right, let's, I need a camera person because I can't tell how well all that's working out. And the tripod's crooked too. Is that, how many op are you going to be? How much does it cost? Andy, we're typically a 10 alpha station. I haven't figured out what we are yet, but yeah, a lot of times we have about 10 operators. I think there's 11 or 12 of us camping, so I'm guessing everyone that's camping will be setting up. So the BuddiHex, how much does it cost? I don't want to throw I mean, I can ballpark numbers. You just go on their website, buddypole.com, and you can check out their website. You know, this antenna is definitely going to be, if you don't have anything, you're new to the Buddy Pole system, and you need to buy the tripod or the MassWorks and the hex beam, you're going to be over $1,000. I don't know how much over, but I do know to buy the whole system, it will be over that. But it's a resident antenna and it's a hex beam. And if you're not familiar with a hex beam, they work amazing. They work amazing and they're directional. And this antenna, this MassWorks tripod, this MassWorks 10-meter tripod has a hand crank. So once I get this thing up in the air with the guide wires and everything, I can just rotate it and I can just swing it any direction I want. So, you know, for my application, we'll go this way. I've got this dirt hill behind me and that's kind of going west. So more than likely I won't be that way. But then going this way, it flattens out and now we're heading into the north, the west, and then the south. And in the beginning of the video, you saw we were over there looking at the tower getting set up. And then there's my buddy Servando. He's got the DX Commander. Randy, what's going on? KN6BZG. Yeah, we're doing good in California. We are baking and hopefully there'll be no shaking later today. Yeah, it's gonna be 100 degrees out here, so thank goodness I got some tree coverage right now. Ooh, there's I see some movement over there. Can you see that antenna? I don't know how good the camera is. All right, let's get this antenna up because it's only gonna be getting hotter and I need to get in the RV. Okay. You know what? I need to go this way. So back at the table. Back at the table. What did it say? It froze? Oh, Fresno. Yeah, 107, Joseph. Fresno. Inland a little more. At least we're pretty close to the water. Sacramento River. All right, so here's kind of like the main data. Oh, that's some serious Velcro. So you're really not gonna go backpacking with this setup. You're probably gonna be in some kind of car, truck, whatever. And along with that, I really recommend table. It just makes it so much easier because each little spider leg, hex beam arm, has this really nice parachute cord. It's very thin and blue, but you can very quickly make spaghetti with it. And so there's a couple of these. So it's just so awesome to have a table to be able to set this stuff down on. And in my opinion, this is amazing for a weekend because it does take a little time to set up and tear down, but it works so good. You know, you could definitely do this for the whole, get out there and just do a day activation. And if you got a buddy, you can make this go quicker. That's true probably with anything. But sometimes in ham radio, we just don't have a lot of friends. No, I'm kidding. We don't have a lot of friends that understand what in the world are you doing? Why are you going out there? Who are you talking to? That's my wife. Who are you talking to? What's so interesting on that radio? Aren't they just a bunch of old dudes? Yeah, you can learn a lot from old dudes. Matter of fact, I was listening to a repeater just this week at work, and this one guy came on, and he was talking about the city I live in, which is Vacaville, and he was saying how Vacaville, yeah, Onionville, that smell. And I don't know what he was talking about. I was like, onions, Vacaville? And I looked it up, and sure enough, from like the 1930s until the 1980s, there's this massive onion factory in Vacaville, which is Highway 80. And so Highway 80 connects San Francisco all the way to Maryland. This huge onion factory, and it's all the building, everything is gone. What now lives there is a big ice skating rink and a movie theater. And I only moved to this town in 2001. I moved to Vacaville. And I thought that was really neat. So I dug down, I found some history. And so what I'm getting at is listening to the repeater and listening to old guys is great. You'll learn more than you think you will. And you might learn about things you don't really care about, like what their current prescription is or how Martha's doing. I'm joking, slightly. But it is fun. Information is a lot of fun. And, you know, obviously I don't gotta tell you guys, but you can interact. You can bust in, you can ask questions, you can say hello. So we're almost there. We're almost there. We got arms pulled apart. And if this is the first time you've seen the BuddiHex, this is the setup process. And let's see. All these pieces, oh boy, I was doing so good. All these arms are held on to the main mast. So if there was a separate holding piece, you could start setting up the mast. So see, this is the mast. And this is gonna go on the tripod. And then you got all the arms I just laid out, and they're gonna open up and attach here. Let me take a look at the camera, see what's going on here. Let me turn that around. Check out any chat, because I can't see chat again. It's probably delayed, isn't it? Let's just keep going. Yeah, if you want to drop a question or say something, I'll periodically check the phone and see what's going on. All right, so we've got the piece that held all those arms, and we're gonna slide that on, and we're gonna lock it down. All right, let me see. So my head goes to the green. Is that at least in frame, the green? Am I cutting my head off? Oh, you know what I realized? I think I've already messed up. Yeah, I can reach that. I can reach that. Let me back up the camera a little bit. And at least this gives you an idea of what this, how this works. There's no editing here. We're live. All right, so we're just gonna do this a bunch of times, kind of like tent poles. These are made of like a plastic, maybe fiberglass. And so then we're gonna stick this in here. Okay, and I'm probably out of frame, but then there's this piece. So we're gonna take one of these parachute cords, and then we're gonna stick it. Oh boy. See, I probably could lower. Oh man. There we go. Okay, so that's the first one. So that holds it up. Hey, Servando, you should see if the feed looks okay. I'm live streaming.
Kellen checked earlier. It looks good.
Oh, it's looking good?
Yeah.
Looking good, sounding good?
Sounding good.
All right. Yeah, this was kind of a sweet spot down here for some internet. I had Kellen in there. They're asking Kellen about those stakes.
Oh, yeah.
I just said, I don't know what they are, but they're huge.
They're about $60 a piece. I know that.
60 bucks a piece for those anchors. And do you know the rating?
1,200 pounds, I think.
1,200 pounds for those stakes. They're towards the beginning of this video. We went over there and watched them drill one in for his tower. So I don't know how high I'm gonna put this up with some of the winds. I think I need to drop this down. I am on my tippy toes. Let's see, am I gonna be able to? No, I need to drop this down. I'm not gonna be able to string the 20 meters, just looking at overall height. And you know, that's why you use this setup pole. So we'll just drop these legs. The fun thing, I think it's fun, is all this works so good. This system, I mean, you could pretty much say the buddy pole system, is it's kind of like adult Legos. So if work sucks, or your wife's always griping, I'm kidding. Kind of get out here and build an antenna. You know, it's relaxing. You're so focused on making this right. I find it relaxing. Some people would say, no way I'd spend all this time setting this up. But wait till you see it work. and then I just get on FT8. No, I'm kidding. There's a couple guys, a couple friends, they want to come visit and they want to plug in. So this antenna is for everyone. Let everyone plug in. Hey, Servando, if anybody goes over for some muffins, bring one back, will you? I think they got cold breakfast over there. Do you know what I mean? They brought cold breakfast for us. Ooh, that sounds good. We got antennas to build. So yeah, so let me go back to the camera for right now. Spin this thing around. Oh, let me see. Is that thing still framed? Yeah, it's pretty framed pretty good. You can't see when I go on the edges. All right. How are the comments doing? Video looks good and sounds good, Jason. Yeah. Well, that was that was recent. Nice. Thanks, RV Gyms. I'm trying not to wear my sunglasses when I talk to you guys. Believe it or not, there's been a few hams. They go, "What's with the sunglasses?" It's like, hey, it's California. It's California, and it's very rare to have clouds. When there's clouds in the sky, people are talking about the clouds in the sky here. There's hardly any clouds, which doesn't help for the heat, but it does make the weather very predictable if you want to like have a Jeep Wrangler or a motorcycle, which is why I live here, because I like both. All right, break time's over. Back to the antenna. So I will let you know, I got this a while ago, and I do believe a few changes were made. A few changes were made to make it faster and simpler. I don't know what all the changes are. One of them that I'm aware of is this system here was changed. I'll bring it in closer in a little bit. But this, you got to spin all the way out to get the wire antenna on, and you spin it back on, and it's a bit fiddly. And the risk is you could drop it in the dirt. You got to pick it up. It's a little bit of a pain. It's not too bad, as long as you got decent dexterity with your fingers. So what they did is he did some kind of hooking system where it's a little bit quicker to get it looped and locked. And there we go. And if you noticed, I'm purposely putting these arms in on opposite sides of each other, because if you just start building the upside down umbrella on one side, you could get a bit of a tipping action. All right. I feel like at this point, this is my signature move, is to build this thing live, and then people will heckle me later for how long it took to put it in the air. I did it, but last year's YouTubers Ham Radio convention we did on the air. I set this up live during a happy hour, and they all heckled me. Which is all part of the fun. I don't know. If you're not making fun of your fellow hams, then you're just not enjoying their company. That's what I always say. We kid because we care. It's like, if you don't get picked on a little bit, whether it's at work or something, then be worried everyone just thinks you're an a-hole and super annoying. So I think it's healthy to get picked on a certain amount. Although today, there's so many people that are sensitive. All right, let's stick this in here. Okay, so there it is in the air. Hey, is that from the breakfast place? I should go over there and get one, huh? They're still setting up breakfast? I'm talking to Kellen. He's watching me. I'm an a-hole and super annoying. That explains some things. Yeah, KJ7OFH. Howdy, howdy. Can that be used as a permanent antenna? Yes, I've heard a few people, let me swing it around here. I've heard a few people that, thank you, Andy, you've had it 2 years. I have heard a few people that run it all year round. It's too hot for field day here in SoCal. Monster, come on now. It's gonna be 100 today in NorCal.
Ham harder.
Yeah, ham harder, come on. Well, what you gotta do is if you worry about heat, you just gotta bring an RV and plug it in. And the AC is running right now. So it's not too bad. It's doable.
Put solar on your tent.
Solar on the tent? All right, let me flip this around. Yeah, I had this thing for about 2 years. All right, so now I want you to see this next step. Will you be using the bandpass filter or one that has multiple filters? No, we couldn't get our act together, our group, to get or buy any of these filters you speak of. So my tripod is really, oh, there's a hole. Yeah, so the question was by Andrew, will I be using any kind of bandpass filter? Because this is a 6-band antenna, we're only going to be using 4 bands because 12 and 17 are work bands. They're not contest bands, field days contest. And you could hook up some cool fancy filters, exactly what he was saying, and then allow multiple users, multiple radios to come in this thing and radiate, even though it has a single piece of coax feeding it. So I mean, talk about an amazing ability, an amazing antenna for contesting abilities. So that is really cool, but no, there's so many of us here. Well, not so many, there's about 10 of us here. And we all have different antennas set up. So there's no shortage of different antennas. You know, like right here behind me, you can see is a DX Commander SRV. He loves that thing. And he said it's working really good for him. So no filters. Okay. Do I have a, like, wait a minute. All right, so we got all the arms put in and then they're taut to the top. But now what I do is I connect around in a circle for strength. That's what we're gonna do now. So we grab this parachute cord and we connect it over here to this one. And then we take this one over here. And this one over here. And this is what really makes it just smart and lightweight, using this parachute cord. And you know what it does is it kind of builds out that rigid frame you typically would see with a hex beam. And it also, because of the materials, it also allows everything to flex halfway decent when it starts getting hit with wind. And so if you look, this last one here, this is the final one that you kind of draw in a little bit, and it's a little bit more taut. All the others were fairly loose to drop in. But this is the final piece that will complete its rigidity. Rigidity? All right, so next we're gonna start stringing up the elements. And what's really amazing about these elements is they're all resident, and out of the box they just worked. You can move them, trim them around, adjust them, but you don't have to. So we'll start off with 6. It is coated. So there's the black plastic knuckle pieces, and then there's black plastic there. I'll take it closer. But I got a little label machine and I threw 6 meters, so I knew real quick I can grab it. So let's get you closer. Vibration. All right. so you can see that there. Might not be the sharpest. It doesn't really, I mean, it kind of does matter. I use this or behind it as the beginning and the end, which becomes the feed point. And I'll show you what that means. That makes more sense here in a second. Hopefully this little fuzzball, this dead cat on this mic is doing its job. I feel a little bit of a breeze, which is welcoming, but nothing worse than trying to watch something and it just is nothing but air noise. Good Lord. Where are you? I did such a good job wrapping this up. This is typically where you stop and you make your edit and then you look like an all-star. So I want to know how many BuddiHex installers did a full live stream, because that would show you how long it takes. Okay, so you take this little bit off, typical wire termination, loop, crimp. Has a real nice shrink tubing on it. And then, so you got to slide that on there. It'd be cool if I had like a second camera on my head and I could live stream all that. So then, this reminds me of a kite, but we're just gonna start locking this in here. These little pieces. I wonder if these were changed. I think he was thinking about changing these slightly. And let me see what my framing looks like. Yeah, not bad. I'll back you up a little bit. Okay. And we're gonna start going this way with it. And you know, so here's a question, which I don't know if maybe the answer's out there if I would have read. But I like to go under, but I could go over. This rotates. I don't know if there's any benefit. Let me ask that question. Does anyone know? Do you like to go under or over with your hex beam? Under just kind of makes sense because there's less laying on these poles. Under is just, it's more like suspended in the air. Does that make sense? Let me look at the comments. Put a comment there. What do you think? Under or over? Let me flip the camera around. Oh boy. No wind noise. Dead cat is working. Yeah, dead cat for the wind. Okay. I don't see any comments. I do check the comments if anyone wants to make a comment or question. There we go. Alrighty, let's get a winding, because what do we got? Oh, it's 9 o'clock. 2 hours, and it's time to play field day. So we're gonna loop this here. So here's the other thing, right? Which I do recognize is, as you're hanging this, there's definitely a lot of like tripping hazards, and you see me ducking around. So it's, it's a little bit of an activity, which I welcome, some physical activity. And, but it might not be the easiest for some. And I do get that. All right, so here's the end. And so now we've got to unscrew this and drop this in and put that there. And we need to do that 3 more times. And so where I'm standing, this is the feed point right here. So everything going this way, well, this is the feed point, what I'm trying to say. This is the direction of this antenna. So right here, there's parachute cord. So there's a separation, electrical separation. And this is the driven element up front. So it comes off both ways, and then it goes this way and it stops. And these are cut the same length. And then you have parachute cord, so you have your air gap, if you will. And then behind it is the reflector. So that's what makes the hex beam work so good, is you have a you know, it's almost like a type of Yagi, where you've got a driven element and then you got a reflector. And this opening that I'm standing in becomes where it's gonna fire. And obviously you can get people on the side, off the back, all that jazz. But that's what makes this antenna, the hex beam in general, so cool. Is you you can really, the gain that you have to pull people out. So now we're at the meter, and it might be hard to see, but you've got gray in color, so the next one up is going to be gray. And we're going to skip the yellow one because the yellow one is going to be 12. We could put it on, but I'm not going to use it. Save me a step. What's funny is, for the most part, I know what everything's called, but then in the heat of the moment, chit-chatting to you guys, it's like I start, my brain is already thinking about the next thing I'm gonna say, and then that comes out of my mouth, and I don't even call things by the right name. But I'm also thinking about the next step of this antenna. Yeah, so here you go. You should be able to see that okay. So here is 10 meters, and then the air gap is right here. So the driven element and then the reflector. And you can see on the hex beam, that's why as you go out, the bands, right? So 6 meters is inside, it's a smaller driven and reflector. Then 10 meters is bigger, so on and so forth. By the time you get to 20, you're on the outside of this hex beam. That might be a no duh, but you know, I don't know. If you're watching my channel, you might not be like the most experienced, knowledgeable ham because I'm not. So there'd be less value for you if you were a OG, unless you just like to watch a guy stumble his way through. And if you're not aware, if you're new to the channel, I apologize for it being somewhat inactive. But I do still love everyone and ham radio. And as far as myself, I got my ticket in only 2016, so I'm kind of a new ham. And then quickly after that, I got the general done, which I recommend. If you just took the test, you want to just keep that knowledge and go after the general, because a lot of things are relevant. And then don't be like me, don't stall out. I should have kept going and took extra, but I've only studied a few times for extra, and those questions are no joke. So if you're a new extra out there, man, congrats on that, to learning all of that. But then the flip side is a balance of time. So the amount of time I need to put in to get to the extra, the juice just ain't worth the squeeze, because I don't have a lot of time to play radio. So I know I'm making up excuses. Quit being such a slacker and get your extra. I know, I need to get my extra. Let me check the phone for comments or questions. Let you guys hanging. Let me get this flipped around. Thank God the old phone here is hanging 10 for signal. Alrighty, are you going to use the beam as static or dynamic? Oh, are you going to use the beam? I don't know what that means. Are you going to use the beam as static or dynamic? Oh, if it's going to rotate. Okay. Yes, this has a mechanical handle. Let me get that real quick. I'll show you what that looks like. It's in the bag over here. I see some more questions coming in, so we'll check out that chat in a second. Got another baggie. Here we go. So this thing is really slick, the MassWorks system. To get the MassWorks, they do sell an electric motor. I don't have the electric motor because I personally think the hand crank is just fine. I couldn't imagine more wires and more things to do. So here's the hand crank. And so that chucks in over there, and this allows you to rotate it. So let me flip that around and get that in there. So the question was static or dynamic. Static meaning not moving. I'm guessing, and dynamic means I'm gonna move it. So I'm gonna move this thing. So I simply will rotate this. This is at the ground, and then it moves. So you can kind of see it moving there, I'm guessing. And this will move within its guide wires, which is a trip. This is something that MassWorks developed. This is gonna have 2 guide points, 6 guide ropes all together. Ooh, the wind is already picking up. That's concerning. So yep, so I'll be able to swing it all around and make it awesome. Really tune in those stations. All right, let's see the other questions on here. I've got a pile of study stuff for the extra. Go for it, Lionel, heck yeah. Just keep taking those practice tests, and then when you realize what areas you don't know, for sure, study your butt off, and there's so many good videos. I got no excuse, Lionel says, plenty of time. Are you still doing part of 2 meter crew? You know, a lot of the 2 meter crew is actually here. That's pretty cool. Let's go say hello to some of the guys, shall we? Let me get you off this. Can someone please stop the official time clock for setup? Here we go. So let's go say hi. They're breaking. It looks like everyone's done setting up. We'll go say hi. Andy is asking about the 2 meter crew. I said, well, there's a good chunk of them here.
Good chunk.
Is that muffin from over there?
It is not. That's a breakfast burrito.
Oh man, wow. I'm definitely missing some. I'm missing out a little bit. Yeah, so people are, they seem to be watching, so I'm gonna keep going. Setting up this BuddiHex.
Right now with the way you got us framed right now,
Yeah.
you can probably see the views actually going down.
No, it's actually quite good. I can see what I'm doing.
5 views, 4 views, 3, 2.
I thought, yeah, going down. Yeah, back to the antenna building, but I wanted to see what everyone was doing there, asking. Andy was asking about you guys.
We're hanging out.
Andy, yeah.
Enjoying the sunshine.
Are you set up?
Substantial completion. Majority. Yeah.
The tower's up.
People were asking about those stakes. Where can you buy those stakes?
Oh, I think the company's called American Earth Anchors.
American Earth Anchors.
I believe they're out of Colorado.
Okay.
So they're American made. They're not cheap.
Not cheap.
They are
I should-
engineered.
They probably can't hear you because you got to talk into my dead cat.
They're an engineered actual stake. So depending on the soils you have,
Yeah.
it'll kind of determine what you want to use.
Okay, nice.
How much were they, Kellen? I may have just
$60?
I may have just given them the tax.
I think I want to say they're like
Tax.
30 a piece.
Oh, that's
Those
not
are
bad.
26 inches.
Okay.
They make them in up to 4 feet.
Shoot.
And I do eyelets, so if you have a real tower and you're doing cable and you don't want to put concrete anchors in, you can actually screw those in. Comes with an eyelet on the end, and so you just do a traditional tower mount.
Oh man, nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah, they got some really nice stuff. You can check them out.
Heck yeah. All right, I got to get back to that antenna because it's only getting hotter. It's only getting hotter. I do need some water though. Let's run to my RV real quick. I should probably shut my door. I'm hoping there's a good group of people here. Oh, also, let me show you this. This is a little over the top here. Brought the big computer, because why not? The 991A. And I got some screens. So we're gonna be playing with that here in a second. That is what's gonna get me on the air for some FT8, for whatever. All right, let's get back to the hex beam, because it's not done yet. It's not gonna get done. Let me drop this in the tripod. And by the way, if you guys, morning Arthur, W6HER, that's a pretty cool call sign. By the way, if you guys are doing field day, you know, throughout your club calls or your calls you might be on the air with, we're out here, we're W6VVR, Whiskey 6 Victor Victor Radio. That's our club call sign, and that's what we'll be on the air. I've got time. It's only a little after 9. If you didn't know, it starts 11 o'clock my time out here on the coast. All right, so, oh yeah, field day today. I'll have it set up my radio. Right on, Robert. Let's flip this around. And what do we got? I need a mute button on this thing. We got 6 and we got 10. So the next one we're gonna do is 15. Let's see, for this shot, let's get you close. Let's get you close to right here. Sorry if you're puking because I'm shaking the camera. Okay. All right. I wanted to kind of show you what this looks like because I don't think you can see it back there. And I like this wire, by the way. I think as hams, we're always grading wire, right? We pick up wire and we feel it, we're like, yeah, it feels pretty nice. You know, the term is this wire doesn't have a lot of memory. So some wiring that you typically would find in your house, I believe it's like THHN code number. If you give it a bend, it'll really be bent. And then, you know, to straighten it, you kind of have to go bend it back, where this moves around, more flexible and bendy, which I appreciate. Okay, so we're red, 15. So we're gonna drop this. Open this eyelet, and this is the part that I do believe they changed. But this drops in here. Although I don't mind this, it's it's plenty strong. That's what I like. And now we're gonna wrap this around the red anchor point, which now I'm out of view. Back it up, back it up. Okay, a little crooked. Do you guys care if it's not perfect? And the red one is right there. So, again, I mentioned this earlier, I like to go under. So you get to the red, drop it there, and then you run it under to the next one. And here's something else I've heard about, in general with hex beams, because of the reflector and the driven element, is that you really don't need to get these off the ground that much. You know, a lot of times, height is might with antennas, of course. Of course, we've heard that. But the way this is set up, you could run it, from what I understand, 10 feet off the ground, 10, 15 off the ground. And that could be something I do because it's gonna get windy. And the area we're in, I need to get the drone out later. I wonder if I can live stream from the drone. I think I can. If you go up over these hills right here, there's a whole farm, and I mean a whole farm, acres and acres of windmills. So yeah, this area gets windy. Why else would you put windmills here? Or maybe they're fans. Some people that really are not very educated think they're fans, and California installed them to help cool off the weather. Now maybe they think that because in Napa, which is really close to us here, if you drive to Napa, they do have fans for the vineyards, and the fans are used to kind of cool or dry the grapes, maybe even keep them warm slightly. I don't know. I'm not a grape dude. I do like wine. I'll drink about anything. Sometimes it's just hard to recover. So maybe that's why they think that. Alrighty, so yeah, we got one more. We're skipping 15. No, that's 15. We're skipping 17. 20's up here, and then we're skipping 12. We're not doing 12. there's always really nice guys on 17. If you've not tried 17, I do recommend 17. And this thing, man, this thing just lasers right into the East Coast. So it's a good way to keep up with some hams over there. I wonder if we're gonna talk to Mike, WG5EK, and our buddy Greg, KN6KIE. They moved, one to Arkansas, one to South Carolina. And man, we miss them. We miss them, especially for field day outings, because they're just good people. They're good people, and they're of the younger, free spirit nature, which is fantastic. Right now, we've got a really good mix in our club. The seasoned fellas, and then the newer guys, the troublemakers. And that's really great if you can figure out how to do that within your radio club. But the biggest struggle, I think it's a number game, right? Because depending where you live, your population might be lower, and that's where it would be hard to balance age differences. So for instance, the county I live in, it has about 450,000 people, the county, which is a lot. And there's for sure two. There's our club, which kind of serves 2 cities. And then there's another club in Benicia. You could say they serve 2 cities as well. And our current membership, I think we're right at 90 members in our club. And it's been growing. People definitely have been getting their ticket, which is way cool, way cool. Obviously I think COVID, a lot of people went out and they got their ticket during COVID, because what else are you gonna do? Wonder how many times you can say COVID before your video gets flagged by the YouTube algorithms. But it is what it is. It's just a part of our life written down into history. All right, so that's 20. And then there's a piece right here, because if you notice this is the driven element area, and it's open, and this is the direction I'm going to be shooting the wigglies out at. And because it is open here, it's not as tight as the other areas, because the other areas have all the antenna elements to help keep it strong. So what he throws in the kit, and I think this also has been modified slightly to make better. Chris at Buddy Pole, of course, is who I'm talking about. Is you put this piece in here, which is just more parachute cord, and this helps keep it taut right here. And so it's just a matter of remembering. I should mark this with tape. Remembering where I put this. I'll put it right here, okay? So he tied a hoop, and he's got, these things are really cool. He uses all over this system. And so I'm just gonna go around that and lock it in. And then go right here. And it's nothing crazy tight, but it just, like I said, it gives you a little bit of that rigidity. The elements themselves are helping out. So there's that, which now you have to remember that's there, not clothesline yourself. Okay, so, there's a few steps you gotta remember in your noodle, or you'll be doing this a bunch of times. Here's a question for the general audience out there, is do you like to feed low or do you like to feed high? And does it matter? I don't think it matters. What do you guys think? Feed this antenna at the 20 meter or feed it down here? But your coax, right, center conductor, it goes to one side, and then your shield, it goes to the other side. So these two pieces I'm pointing at are electrically separated, and then that feeds. The other thing that's cool about this antenna is on the top here, there is a quarter, I think it's quarter 20 screw, quarter 20. but you could definitely screw something there. Let's say you want a dual bander. You have to run your own piece of coax to it. It's not electrically connected to this. It's molded into plastic. But it'd be really neat to stick something here, maybe even a flag, call sign or something. Let's look at the comments. Feed it from the top or the bottom? Feeding it from the bottom, let me flip the camera around. At least it'll buy me a little coax, and I'm a little short on coax. All right, let's wind back the comments. It's to circulate all the wildfire smoke. That's a good one, Mike. It's kind of air out the state, all the windmills, speaking. Ted, those are fans, so the rich folks can sail on days without no wind. That's a good one. The vineyard fans raise the temp. There it is, thank you. Raise the temp a couple degrees so the vines don't freeze. Yeah, so if you go out and drive around Napa, wherever they got huge vineyards, there are these fans just 5-10 feet above the grapes. And you're thinking, what are those for? Well, there you have it. I heard that guy named Jesus or Jesus can turn water into wine. How about turning water into gasoline? No kidding. Bottom feed. All right, Ted. You're from the bottom. I like that. Yeah, there could be a difference, but that's going to save me this much coax, that much coax, and I typically, I need to go eat something. The 50 feet that come with it, I typically will just set up and run just with the 50 feet, minimize my losses and all that. But today I had to put another maybe 25 feet on because I'm running it underneath the RV and then up into a window. And I'll go live a little later today. So I think that bell, if you hit that bell, that'll help you know when I'm live, or you can later go back and watch it from the command post. But this seems to be a pretty sweet spot for cell phone. And I don't know what cell phone's gonna look like in there, meaning enough strength to stream, because there's not, where I'm at, I can't believe this is working so good, so thank goodness. Feed from the bottom, terms of troubleshooting access. Great, I like it. Okay guys, well hey, thanks. I like that. Little interaction, we're gonna feed from the bottom. Oh, here's that piece too. It's probably too far away to be able to see over there. But little PNC, and then goes each side. The sides don't matter. So we're gonna put this one in, open it up. And not to mention, if you feed it from the top, now you've got a bunch of coax going right in the feeding area. And you know, who knows, maybe some common mode, maybe RF just kind of get in there. So I like the idea on the bottom. And there is some documentation and way smarter people out there that have set this up and they figured it out. But man, I don't got time to research all that. All right, so now I'm gonna check the tightness, snug everything real nice, because I don't plan to touch these elements again. That's feeling good. All right. And while I'm here, I'll put the coax in a second. So this is the part that gets kind of tricky. Let me back it up a little bit here. Sorry for the movement. I should give you a warning. Stand by, close your eyes for jiggle vision. Okay. So here is the 10-meter MassWorks stick, and there is a piece on the top. It typically has threads. If you're a buddy pole user, that's where you put your buddy pole stuff. This is just a conduit coupling, half-inch conduit coupling. I use it to protect the threads because most of the stuff is kind of like a plastic for lightweight. Here we go. Pushing that button. Pop it out. All right. I'm gonna move the camera because, well, I guess what I can do this. So my back isn't to you, because how rude is that? here you guys are watching me. I don't know if it's for entertainment or you're learning. You could be listening. There's not a whole lot going on here. Okay, so this is the part, you see, it's almost like a bit of an army exercise here, crawling underneath these cables and wires. And the reason that you use the setup pole is because at a guy at 5'10", I can comfortably reach up here and connect everything. Where this pole, this is as low as it goes right now, and this is gonna put it higher, which is not the end of the world. I've before used like a little step stool or ladder, which I didn't bring, so this is what I got. All right, so we're gonna loosen this up and we're just gonna pop this off. And it's really not that heavy. You can see I'm not that big of a guy and I can pick it up no problem. And I'm standing inside the feed area of the antenna. So now we're just gonna drop it down like that on the ground because we're gonna pull out the setup. So here's the setup pole. And this comes with the BuddiHex because Chris recognized this is a long pole to do the install in. I wonder if you looked at the average ham. Are we tall people or are we shorter people? Average people? Come on, baby. Just need to stick this guy in. There we go. To the ground you go. Lock it in, lock it in. And then we pick it up. I guess the bummer is about being mic'd is you're hearing all my little grunts and coughs and, oh boy. And now we're looking, ooh, look at that. That's pretty lucky. Hey, that's my buddy Jim. Let's talk to Jim for a second. Is that you, Jim? K6FAK.
It is me. Who's that?
Yeah, I'm a little scratchy. I'm at the campsite setting up the BuddiHex right now. K6FAK.
You're completely readable. You must be in a bad spot. Are you at Sandy Beach?
I am. Can you hear me now?
A little better. Are you on a handheld?
Yeah, I want a handheld. Looking for a good spot.
Check. You don't have like a mobile radio in your motorhome?
Of course I do. But I'm setting up the BuddiHex and we're live on YouTube right now.
Okay. Copied. You're setting up the BuddiHex and then you went 10-1.
We're also making movies. All right, well, I'll catch you if you're coming this way. I'm gonna keep setting up the antenna. Talk to you in a little bit. K6FAK. Trying to improve my reception.
Yeah, all I heard was your call. All right, I'm on the way down. So however long it takes me to get there. K6 KCP.
Yeah, it's this chunk of dirt. The repeater's that way, so obviously that's not working that great. But he's coming. He's gonna be here soon. All right. So, all right. So I'm just checking on this because you want to make sure this sits all the way down. Yep, and it's locked in. And now I'm going to wrap this. This is a piece, this does not come with it. These are pieces, or does it come with it? There's some Velcro here that I added as a strain relief. Because I don't want all the coax to be hanging on, I don't want the coax to be hanging on the two terminals that go to the feed point. So that's why I put this right here. Some kind of Velcro. I think I added some of this. It comes with some, but then I wanted to put more. All right. He just yelled, I thought this thing was quick. I'm hanging out with my friends online.
I thought you were efficient. When was the last time you did this? You should really do a YouTube channel.
I'm glad you're not Mike. They can't hear you. The heckling has begun. I've officially taken too much time setting this up. And so what I'm doing is I'm just adjusting how my feed point and the wires are. So it's kind of cleaner a little bit. And if you got any questions or comments, I'll come back to the camera and check it out here in a little bit. But right now, I feel like I'm letting people down right now. Again, this is just some Velcro, so it hangs off the Velcro and not the wires. Okay. So here is the coax, little B and C. And now we're gonna hang it right here, and oh, we need the double bayonet piece that I took off. B and C, bayonet to bayonet. A lot of this stuff will come with it. All right. So let me get a drink of water and check the camera. These guys are back here heckling me. How are the comments coming? From the bottom. Let's see how the mic looks like. I'm good. I don't think I'm peaking too much. Let's see. More people. I'm gonna try my buddy pole antenna today. Oh, heck yeah, Robert, get that thing out there. Hello from 6L 5TPR. Man, cool call sign. I'm not sure where that's from, but welcome. The average ham is a nerd. This is very true. We are a different cut of people, aren't we? And I want to say there are some hams in some very important places in the world, working, engineering, designing, fixing. Yeah, we definitely like all this business, don't we? According to my phone, I've been streaming for 73 minutes and we're not set up yet, but I've been doing other things. All right, so there we have that. And so I could probably run it just like this. I've not done that before. I could check the SWR, but let's get a little bit higher. So let's get the tripod lower legs extended, which will give me a little bit more height, and then I can start setting the, ooh, it's not too bad. I'm holding all this in my hand while I drop these down. You get two, and then you can kind of pivot. But what I want to do is set the feet, and I want to level it. Mentioned before, give you a little bubble here. And all you got to do is remember how the bubble moves. So there that is. Ooh, that looks really good. That bubble is looking good. And then the next step is to get the guides on. And the guides, in my opinion, are one of the best parts of this antenna. It is really cool. So what I do is I pop each section up a little bit. I sometimes forget where they go. And what I mean by that will make sense in a second. And I'll bring you closer. Closer. Let me go in my bag of goodies. All right, stand by for camera vibration. I'm missing. I wonder if the other way would be better because it's less sun. And we can watch Servando in the background and question what is he doing. Trying to get this camera dialed in. I do apologize. All right, so there we go. There's the guys back there. All right. So depending how high you go on this, you could probably get away with just running one set, but I'm probably gonna run both sets. And this is where a lot of the time goes in. Obviously winding the elements, but then getting these strung out and in. So some kind of plastic material, and they pull apart like this. And then you just figure out where they fit right there. And it slides in, and then the way it overlaps, it locks and it completes like a complete circle. And the guide ropes then go in these eyelets, and as you saw, you can rotate it. You can rotate this antenna like this with the guides in the ground. So that's pretty awesome. So then we got this smaller one. So again, pulls apart. How cool is that? Don't fit? It fits. And lock it in. So I can tell you the top section, this section here, I lower all the way down. And more than likely, I think I'm gonna leave this section right here. I don't think I'm gonna go any higher. I'll probably, right here. I'm concerned of the wind a little bit. We'll go right here. That's as high as I'm gonna go there. All right. So next I'm going to unravel these babies. So let's start with the lower one first. Actually, this needs a drop. This will make sense here in a little bit. Some more of these cool parachute cord and winders. Ooh, man. What do we got? Feels like it's getting warm out there. It's gonna be 100, about 73 right now. It's ham radio. I gotta give you a weather report. It would not be ham radio if we weren't talking about the weather. So I do believe the design is just up and in and it locks like this, but I've had a few times where it jumps out. So to eliminate that, I noticed you can go up once, up twice. And what that does is that just helps it hold that much more. So I've had really good luck going around twice. I don't know if that's by design or not. And then where these go is where the legs are not. So if the leg is here, I'm not gonna go where the leg is. I'm gonna go in between the split. And so we're just gonna run this out. I know you cannot see me. Look at all those guys just standing around. Must be nice to stand around, huh? But I don't think they'll be able to talk as far as me, now will they? Although the joke is I'm setting up this Mamma Jamma antenna, and then I'll just be doing FT8 on it. No, I'm kidding. There's gonna be some guys, they wanna visit. One guy, he wants to bring his mountain topper, Doug. And so he'll be doing some CW, which is awesome. And then another guy wants to set up his radio. He'll probably be doing phone. So I don't know about you guys, but I come to field day to kind of socialize, experiment. I don't get frustrated if I only make a couple contacts, whatever mode that might be. Because if you want to get out and hammer away at contacts, I really recommend something like POTA, and you do it yourself. And that's how you would sharpen your skills out there in the field, emergency setting. Field day for me is like a big once-a-year party. Ton of friends, club members, and then food. We're gonna eat a lot of food today. Although I'm starving right now. I've not had any food yet. But that's my fault. Stayed up way too late. Woke up, and now we're doing this. Okay, steaks. Not the kind you eat, the kind you need for the ground. I think I have them in another bin. I don't have them here. The steaks are in a bin with with my hammer. Let's check comments. No real comments. I guess I'm gonna take you with. Stand by for camera movement. The people watching are still there, so keep it going. I need to go get 3 steaks and a hammer, which is in the RV. So let's go that way. Ooh, I can hear the air conditioning running. All right, we're in the RV. I don't know if you guys saw this earlier, but this is how I rock out field day. So I bring the big computer, some screens. That's the 991A Yaesu. That's how I'll be rocking field day. What I'm gonna do is I brought this little battery. I'm gonna power off this battery. I got these cool monitors. Power monitors, a must off Amazon. And then I'm gonna run the radio off of this battery, off of the RV batteries, which are under here. I got two deep cycle. And let me tell you something about deep cycle, at least in my RV, is they need checked every once in a while. Mine were almost out of liquid acid. They were right at the top of the plates, which is not good. Steaks. So luckily I ran out, got some distilled water, got them topped off. Hopefully they're okay, and I caught them. I caught them early enough. So if you got deep cycle batteries, take a look. Make sure the water has not been boiling out, because you keep them charged, trickle charged, plugged in, whatever. Oh, it feels good in here. It is a nice cool 70 degrees. All right, I got my hammer. Man, I apologize for my phone holding. Oh yeah. We got some ham curious people. Very nice. They're like, what are you guys doing? What are you guys doing? And then I'm down here. Let's check this out. I don't screw around. I found these, I don't know, Walmart. Awesome steaks. Little baby Thor's hammer. Oh yeah. Let's get you back in the tripod. Yeah, I guess, let me get you, stand by for camera shaking. All right, got it. They're the people, nice little family. They're asking about ham radio. Tell kids, yeah, YouTube. a lot of my daughters, they got 2 daughters, they're 9 and 11. And when their friends find out that I mess around on YouTube, they think that's like the biggest thing ever, that I have a YouTube channel. Because obviously when you're, 9 or 11, it's like, how do you make a YouTube channel? How does that work? How do you upload, all the logistics that go into it? So it's funny. I can pull people in my ham shack typically when I talk about YouTube. Yeah, that's what lead acid batteries are, a PITA. If you get 3 years out of them in an RV, you're doing good. Oh, no kidding. Gosh, my RV I think was built in 2016, and those batteries are factory. Every time it's at home, I use the battery tender chargers, which does like a float, from what I understand. So it hits the voltage, and then it drops the charging, and then it checks on it. And if it needs a little more, it applies charging, and if it doesn't need charging, it drops it. So I believe the term is called float charging. But I will tell you, the little wall wart or overall battery tender, probably all of them, are noisy on HF. So I typically will turn them off getting on HF at home because I can hear the little circuitry that comes in and out of the battery tenders. Yeah, the the iron phosphate, lithium iron phosphate are the way to go for sure. Will you guys be doing 2 meter? I can hit you guys as I'm 30, 50 miles away. Arthur, W6HER. Sure, we'll for sure have 2 meter. I'll be running a dual band with an elk antenna. I believe I was asked to have the GOTA station, so that's cool. That's get on the air, and that is not with the call sign you use for the field day. That is with the that's with my call sign. I'll be using my call sign. All right, we're getting close to the end, but you know, if I see people watching, I'll just keep going. I'll keep going to the live stream because I don't, you know, whatever. I think it's fun. See? All right, so we need to start putting this in the air and figuring out where to put our guys. So what I like to do is I start, this is the part that I get nervous on. So I'll start raising this up here, and hopefully the wind isn't so nasty, it's gonna create problems. And so I start, I guess, from the top of the first guy, and I go up. Oh man. And if you ain't level, if this stick ain't level, you're gonna feel it because it's gonna twist around on you. And I can already see the wind yanking on it. Because what I'm doing is I don't know where to put my guy wire right now. Because you have to put the length of the mast up and then figure out where the ropes fall. So we'll go about there. I'm not gonna go crazy high on this thing. I'm gonna be kind of conservative. I am a little concerned that it's gonna tip over right now. So let me get a bag that's got some weight. This here on the bottom. This is the part where I typically ask anybody, even my kid, just to hang on to this and push it down on the ground. But let's go quick. All right, so this is where my first is gonna go. Oh, I could almost use this tree. And with guys, I like to just use it. Okay, right about there, yeah. About this, we'll go in a little bit more. This has been a learning lesson because the top then comes down to the same point. Hammer time. So, what I like to do is I use the winder itself to help hold it up. Oh boy, I feel some wind. It's making me nervous. Can you see it moving in the camera? All right. And here, let me kick you back a little bit. Let's kick you back so you can see the whole picture. Because that's the best part about these little microphones I got. They just work. Okay, hold on. Stand by for camera shake. I do apologize. There you go. I kind of wanted to, so if it falls, this footage will be money. I'm kidding. Let me just say hello to people. Check on comments. Andy, thank you. Yeah, the family's for sure doing good. Part of the reason why I can't make all the content I want. I want to do motorcycle, I want to do ham radio, but at the end of the day, I got a beautiful wife and kids, and I kind of want to keep it that way. My kids will get old eventually, and they're 2 girls. So by my calculations, I only have a few more years of them actually liking me, and then I can make a ton more ham radio content. Boy, I've been talking like the whole time. That's okay. Let's get the next one out before it tips over. I don't know how far the camera can see me, and I apologize, but let's get this one set up. So I go to the end of the rope, and then I come in a little bit. And I come in, and I anchor in the stake. See, like right now, this ground is relatively sandy. I mean, this park is called Sandy Beach. So if I had the factory stakes, it would be problematic because they're short. And I could lose them in this loose soil sand. So having these bigger ones from just Walmart, whatever, it gets through the soft stuff. Oh boy. You guys are like, it's tipping! And I can't see your comments. There we go. Lock it in. So yeah, you gotta get the big stakes. This thing falls on the ground, it's gonna break arms. It's gonna break arms, it's gonna break the mast. That's no fun. We're doing pretty good. It's almost straight. Let's see here. Here's the end of the rope, and we're gonna kind of go in right about here. And as I mentioned earlier, I'll jump on live later. So if you want to see that, there's a bell you can hit on YouTube, which will then, you'll get like a ding on your phone. Hey, Ham Radio TV's live. And the reason you may or may not care is I'll walk around later and we'll check out everyone's setup, which I mean, God, that's one thing about ham radio, right? We all have gas. Gas, gear acquisition symptom. We all love stuff. So I love looking at stuff, and I'm only guessing you love looking at stuff. So we're gonna look at stuff later. Everyone's set up. All right. Man, this HT is all over the place. So now I look, yeah, I like that, that's pretty good. I'm just kind of seeing how straight this is. It's pretty straight. And then all my ropes, they're feeling pretty good. You know, don't want any slack, but I don't want to be able to play a guitar song on them. Yeah, that's really good. So that kind of sets the first section to the guy. The next section, to push it higher, that's when you're going to guide the second. So I could leave it like this. I could leave it and run it like this, which I might, if the wind picks up. This might be like its secondary position for safe measure. Let's check on comments. It looks vertical from Fremont. Thanks. Didn't he say one of his girls is 11? So yeah, the dad's cool clock is ticking for sure. I have an 11 and 9-year-old. Wait till they're 12 and 13. That is not cool. I know. Well, right now I'm doing okay for coolness, I think. I know. Isn't that something? Little girls can just get so angry later. There's a tree branch in the way. All right, let's go this way. The sun's behind me. So let me put it right about here because it's going to go higher. The next step will be higher up. How's my mic? My mic looks good. I'm really happy with these mics, by the way. This is the, these are the DJI. They're fairly new. And when I saw them hit the market, I just was like, holy crap, I gotta get those. I gotta get those. Oh, check this out. I think you can see this from here. So let me get the driven element when I want it. And all I'm doing is rotating this handle. That's west. I don't plan to work a lot of west. I want to work a lot of east. So let's spin this around. And I'll later like use the phone, the compass on the phone, so I can really get my bearing. And nothing is more cool when, you know, you're on the radio, maybe your buddy's on the radio, and he's working his station, or he's trying to work a station, and you pick up his call and you can look him up where he's at, or maybe you know the number, you know, if he's like a 1 or a 3 or a 4, you know, 4 kind of Florida, 1 or 3 towards New England. And you can swing this thing. All right, so now we're gonna drop it down and then get the next guide wires. They're not wires, they're ropes. So we'll drop it down. And this is the part that can get a little hairy because the wind starts yanking on it right now because we're unguided. So we drop it down with the slack. Drop it down, drop it down. And the other thing too is it can create a spaghetti of wires on you, which is all part of ham radio, isn't it? The more wires, the better. You're way out there in the field. I wonder how the internet is out that way is. So we're gonna feed this guy up twice through the hole. If you gotta get something to drink, take a break, take 5 minutes, take a break, because when I start pushing on this next section, this is where it can all suddenly go wrong. So you've got a couple minutes here while I wind these out, these ropes. This is where I sometimes will call for help when I push this thing up. When I push the limits, this mast by MastWorks is a 10 meters. So if you do American, that's like just about like 30 feet change. And you can't put it at 30 feet with a BuddiHex on top. There's just too much weight, side load, wind load, all that stuff. You can't do it. Probably get around 25. I don't even know how high I'll have it. Oh, you know what? The iPhone has this new measuring thing. I don't think it's new, but there's a measure, just search measure in your iPhone, and you can point at something and it can measure it. So I'll have to do that. We'll have to measure this, see what the height it is up in the air. But I'm happy if I'm like hanging around 20, 25 on this thing, honestly. Because here's the other thing, you know, a couple times I've had this up, it's like, you're like, all right, cool, great day, good. And then obviously you got to go to bed, so it's getting late. And a lot of times during nightfall, that's when wind will pick up. And before you know it, it could get real windy while you're comfortably sleeping. So man, you start thinking about that and it stresses you out. All right, so let's push this up. How high am I gonna take? So we'll start, I'm gonna keep that section lowered there, the very top section, we're gonna just keep that down. I think this one here, we'll just go, I think I like to go something like that. And this is all by memory, like that. And we'll push this one up. So a second ago when you guys saw it, it didn't have these two sections. So I'm pushing these two sections. That's the height we're gonna gain. Sorry if I'm grunting a little bit. This is like shoulder strength. You do need some shoulder strength to get this up in the air. Ooh, you see it twist? And you're just hoisting this thing up. Oh, what's up with the antenna? Oh, you know what? The coax. I'm seeing some coax troubles. How did that happen? Or maybe it's gonna work out? No, it's not gonna work out. So yeah, so heads up on your coax. So that's going that way. I want this to go that way. Yeah. Man. Okay. And then you got a HT on your belt, as we do, because we're super nerds. And that gets caught on everything. Okay, let's go back up in the air. Man, the wind's picking up. It's been calm all morning, and now look. Okay. Oh, yeah, baby. All right. Oh no, we've got visitors already. Hey, what's happening? Good deal. How's it going?
But when the on the air gets up, maybe we can get him on the air.
Yeah, you bet. We're actually streaming to YouTube Live right now.
Oh, that's his favorite.
There's the camera. Everyone's having a good chuckle at me as I set this up.
So this is a hex beam.
This is a hex beam.
So you can see there's many different kinds of antennas going up here. And that's a pretty elaborate one, Jason, I have to admit.
Yeah, well, go big or go home.
Right.
How
many bands can you cover on it?
So this does 6 bands. I should mic up. Yeah, so new guy, new young man interested in ham radio wants to come by and say hello.
Can I give you some caution tape to put on the guy line so nobody trips over them?
Yeah, I've got some too, Mike.
Oh, you got some?
Yep,
Okay, good.
I'm still in setup mode.
All right, yeah.
But the good thing about this area is it's kind of out of the beaten path, off the beaten path.
Yeah, well, we are going to be taking people on, you know, we got
Oh,
supervisor coming through and stuff.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll get these ropes marked.
All right.
I'm just setting their length right now. All right, guys, well, let's see how straight is that? I can't see how straight that is.
Ionosphere is working better. You don't have the sun beating down on it or what have you.
I'm pretty happy with that. You happy with that?
Yeah, so hey,
All right. Well, how much time was that? Was that a 2-hour setup? How long did that take me? I did other things. Gotta cut me some slack, all right? All right. But we're gonna see how this thing performs in a little bit. But I think for right now, we're coming to the end. Coming to the end of the stream. Drop a comment now. I'm gonna walk over to the phone. Drop a comment. We'll do some chit chat before I say goodbye, but we're up in the air. The SWR needs to be checked, but I can almost guarantee it. It's gonna be good to go. Let me come over to the phone here. There's a whole lot of chitter chatter. I know you can't really hear them. Get this thing turned around. Ooh, look at my phone. Yeah, this is an iPhone, and you know, when it gets hot, it does this dimming feature. So it's getting hot. It's been on, look at this. 104 minutes I've been streaming. Anyway, let me check the comments real quick. What Till got, 12 to 13 then. Yeah, that is not cool. Looks vertical. Hello, WA3AHC. Mic works good. The bomb antenna looks good. I know, thanks Nick. And Nick, NR6NIK. Awesome, awesome. Well, hey guys, thanks for watching this stream. I'm gonna pretty much wrap it up right here. Say hi to the new 16-year-old that's interested in ham radio. Set up my dual bander so we can check that out. And yeah, check back later on the channel. I'll be live for a little bit of a walk and talk. We'll check out all the different stations. So W5JEA will be listening. Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. So again, we're W6VVR on the air. That's going to be our call sign. And then if you didn't know, I'm Jason, and with a call of K6FAK. And thanks for coming along with me. If you made it to the end, I do really appreciate you guys. This has been fun setting all this up. And look at this beauty. This thing is so awesome. And she's high. I need to do it with my iPhone. All right, guys. Flip this around. I'll say goodbye. We'll see you a little bit later today. Take care. Where's the button to end it? See ya.